makes sense. I mean, the writing's been on the wall for all of this AI stuff for years. It hasn't really been able to be put into application until most recently.
Yeah.
To the degree that it's at. But we've seen stuff like this forever, where somebody's gone and they have like a hologram of somebody they once knew, and it's like, you're not you, but you're like you. I mean, they've been doing this for decades. Sci-fi stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, and if you think about just our technology the way it is, most of the technology we create is based off of stuff that was created in sci-fi, because we were looking into the future even way back in the 50s or earlier.
True.
So, like, people think about that, like, hey, we're going to make something called a hoverboard. It's clearly not the hoverboard from Back to the Future. It's this little rolly device, but it's like it was inspired by a hoverboard from Back to the Future. Holograms. We saw holograms in all these different sci-fi movies back in the day. Now we have holographic concerts.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then add an AI to it, which, let's think about the Time Machine. You got Orlando Jones. He was the guy who was he was at the library, right? You remember the Time Machine with Guy Pearce?
Yeah.
Like him. Like, he's a hologram. He's an AI hologram who has access to all the records and everything. It's like, yeah, we've seen stuff like this. Why would we be surprised that this is becoming reality, especially with everybody's obsession with artificial intelligence at this point? It's just right now it's like the sci-fi geeks are
now the reason
out.
Well, right now, when you look at the stock market, the Magnificent Seven, the big seven that are on the stock market, are all just dumping money into AI right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of economists right now are actually afraid of an AI bubble burst.
I heard about that. But you know what? I understand both sides of it. They're afraid of a bubble burst because eventually it's going to happen. But at the same time, one of these companies is betting on them becoming Amazon, if that makes sense. Like, think about how many companies were around during like the .com boom. Like, if you were Amazon back then, it's well worth it. It's worth every penny that you're dropping into it, because Amazon could have easily been one of the duds to go bye-bye. Like, it very easily could have happened, but it didn't. And now it's a company that basically handles everybody's consumer needs. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I understand.
There are people that would not know how to survive if Amazon just didn't exist.
You're right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right.
It's ridiculous how much people are reliant on technology.
Yeah.
And we know this. There was that show Evolution that I bring up, or Revolution, yeah, whatever, that I bring up all the time, and it had Giancarlo Esposito in it as well. And that was the whole thing, is like all technology just went, and people are like back on horses, and just people died because they did not know how to survive. And those that remembered some, like, relics of the past, like, like the 90s, were able to somehow survive. And it's just, that's where we are right now. People are reliant on AI, reliant on Google, reliant on Amazon Prime. There are people who don't even go grocery shopping. They never leave their house. They do everything they can online. The only time they leave their house is if they get like jury duty, and they'll fight it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous.
It's funny. Speaking of that, there's two things. One, my mom, the other day, she's like, yeah, I needed like tape and thumbtacks and paper clips. So I just ordered them on Amazon. I'm like, Mom, there's a Walmart 1.3 miles from your house.
Hey.
I looked at her. I looked at her and I went, that is the most lazy thing I've ever seen. Like, I don't even do that. I just go to the local store.
I'm one of them. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of them. I wake up. I know what I need. Click, 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 boom. It's at my door in an hour. Why would I go out to get? Why? It's too convenient.
Well, you don't drive, so there's you.
But I can still no. Because 20 years ago, I would have walked. I would have got a cab. I would have jumped in a bus. Like, I'm not a stranger to commuting. I know how to get around, but I don't have to. I don't have to get up.
But that's the point, is you personally right now would spend so much more money either, getting a cab or more time walking all the way to Walmart. Why bother if you can get it in an hour? You can get it in less time and for much cheaper. So yeah, for you, it makes sense. For somebody who only has to take a 2-minute drive, that's where the question comes in. Okay, why are you
not even that? I know people who drive, they roll over, they click-clack on Walmart, it's at their door in an hour. They didn't have to sit in traffic, they didn't have to deal with the public, they didn't have to go in the store, they didn't have to deal with the cashier, they didn't have to worry about blah, blah, blah. They didn't have to walk around the store to get what they need and put it in. Somebody did it for them. Why not? Why? I don't understand. I don't understand why. I don't understand
because
why
this right
that's
here,
a bad
because
thing.
this right here, I was at the supermarket the other day. I go out to the store. I like going out to the store and doing my own thing.
I hate it.
And I'm listening to the overhead
music,
I was interrupted by a little, an ad at this. I think it was Hannaford's or something like that. And they're talking to the customer. They're telling the customers in the store, "Don't come here."
Yeah, that's
you can just hire. They call it hire one of our expert shoppers, and we will do it. I'm like,
yes.
Yeah. Let me hold on a second. Let me put this. I'm sitting there. I'm at like, I don't know, aisle 8 or whatever, and I'm sitting there going, "Did they just? They didn't. They just. They have a home. They have a position.
Of course,
you can go to Hannaford's or Shaw's and you can go and you can get hired for expert shopper.
Absolutely, yes.
Because those of us who've been doing it for 30 years, do that. That's a great interview right there. What experience do you have?
I'll tell you this.
I've lived on my own for the last 30 years, and I've been buying my own food, so I figured it out.
I'm telling you, and I've told other people this. Other people who are older than you, do it once. Just once.
No.
Try once. Just once. You'll understand. Wake up. Do it when you're sick. You wake up. You're in bed. You're sweaty. You don't feel good. You're stuffed up. You're coughing. The medication's all over. Yeah, the medication's all over your table. You're dead. That. Reach over, grab your phone. Walmart. Boom, 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 boom. 1 hour. You pay like $6 for the hour delivery and stay in your bed. Relax. Your phone chimes, all of your stuff is outside. You get up, you walk to your front door and back, and you're back in bed. I'm saying, the
last thing I'm thinking of is grocery shopping.
No, but what if you need something and you can't get up and go? That's what I mean. Try it once. You'll understand why people do it. It's worth the money to not get up, get dressed, go out, go to the store, deal with traffic, deal with other people.
I think
that's what I mean.
I enjoy getting out and touching grass and talking to people. And
so do I.
People
so do I. I'm sociable to. I'm sociable to.
I saw a 3D print. What do you want to call that? A build or whatever. Then it prints grass for you to touch. You can put it on your desk.
Of course.
Just for that reason.
Of course. But the thing is, I know people who are like you, who like to get up, they like to go out, they like to do their own shopping. And when I say do it once, they come back and say, "Yeah, I can understand why people do this." It's
understand why.
It's great for people who don't have the ability, who don't want to go out. That's fine.
That's the thing.
I know, so there are elderly people. There are elderly people who cannot go out, or they can, but it's just so much easier. I used to work, as you guys know, with developmentally delayed adults, and there were a few of them that I would work with that part of their day. If I ended up having to cover, like, "Oh, what are we doing today? I have to go grab so-and-so, their grocery list." And I have a whole list right here. And we go to the store, we pick up their stuff and we bring it to them. And it was just a volunteer thing that they were signed up for. And it was a super blessing to that woman who would get us like Christmas gifts every year, or, give us some money just for, a tip, just because she really appreciated it, because she was limited with her mobility.
Sure.
But the thing is, like, it makes sense for things like that. But the point is, people who don't need to do it, people who have vehicles, who are a mile away from a Walmart, they choose to do it more often than they really should. And that's where people they forget what it's like to be in a store.
More often than they really should. Explain that. More often than they really should.
So what I mean by that is,
if the service is there and available for you to use, why shouldn't you use it?
Oh, you're right. Okay, so if somebody's going to chew and digest your food for you, and it's available, why not just let them do that?
No.
Why? That saves you time having to make the food, having to eat the food. Heck, maybe they can even poop it out for you.
You're going from 0 to 100 dude. What?
I know, but you just made a very just flat statement, and I'm saying, okay,
yeah,
let's put that.
If the service,
in the context, you don't have to do it.
In the context of somebody else can do my shopping for me and put it at my door. If the service is there and available and affordable, why shouldn't people utilize it?
Because
they
of
should
this.
Get up and move. Because if you don't get up and move every now and again, your body will fall apart.
And because of this, it is the dumbing down of a society.
The dumbing down.
It's WALL-E.
The dumbing WALL-E. Down of it's not WALL-E. This is not. It's not WALL-E.
It's WALL-E.
It's not WALL-E. It's not WALL-E.
So this right here. This right here is how every liberal fights an argument. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that.
No.
It's not that. It's not that. So okay.
In WALL-E, nobody worked. That's what made WALL-E WALL-E. If you don't, I have to get up. I have to go out. I have to do a job. Right? Everybody has to do that in order to afford these services. If I don't get up and I don't go out and I don't go to work, I don't afford the service, and I can't do that to begin with. So right there, that's out the window. If I get up every day and I go and I do my 8, 9, 10 hours, I do my shift and I go home, I don't feel like going to the store and sitting in a line and dealing with a whole bunch of people that I don't want to see.
So let me ask you this, though. Do you think that prices would be less for situations like that if it wasn't for the need of – you're paying more for the same thing to have someone else. Now, here's the thing: is
I'm paying for the convenience.
When you're listening, okay, you're still paying more. So the people that are talking about this is what they're doing is when I was hearing the ad at Hannaford's, you pull up, you drive to the store,
sure,
you pull up into the to-go point. There is cameras on these parking spaces.
Sure,
they come out and they say, "What's your name?" You give them their name. They go back in. They get the carriage of food that you just bought.
Yep.
They come out. They load it into your car.
Yep.
You pay them.
Absolutely.
And you're good to go.
Yep.
Yes.
And you paid a premium for that. That's called laziness.
That's called. Why is it lazy?
Because you're too lazy to get up off your own butt and go and do it yourself.
The thing is,
if you are capable, why can't you? Why can't you? Because
if
you
the
just
lockdown
don't.
Didn't happen, we wouldn't have
wait.
been here this fast.
Right. And the only reason why people do that, the one and only reason why capable and able people do that is sheer laziness. There's no other reason. There is no other reason. Oh, you know what? I don't want to have to deal with my kids in the grocery store. Boo-hoo. Cry about it. I do it. Oh, I don't want to walk around for 15 minutes. Boo-hoo. That's why America is like 70% overweight now because of stuff like that.
There are some
America's been 70% overweight since the 70s. You can't use that as an excuse.
Nope. In the 70s, it was 3%.
It was not nobody's 3%. This is the most obese country, and it has been by a wide margin for an incredibly long time, certainly longer than a service for somebody to go out and do your shopping for you has been, all right? America's been overweight and obese since the advent of the Big Mac, all right? You can go all the way back to the advent of fast food. There are documentaries about this that started everything obese. You want to talk about that? You're going to talk about McDonald's? You want to talk about McDonald's? You're going to talk about Burger King and Taco Bell. Fast food has more of a direct correlation to obesity than somebody going out and doing their shopping for them. If you are if you're an able-bodied person and you're able to afford to have somebody do your shopping for you and deliver it to your door, guess what? There's nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You're not being lazy. You're saying, I worked all week. I don't feel like doing this thing. I worked all day. I don't feel like doing this thing. I'm going to have somebody else do it for me. Not only that, but you're creating an entire market for people to go out and get jobs. Okay? I completely disagree with this take 100%. If you, if you personally want to go out and you want to do your own shopping, you know what, dude? God bless. But if somebody else decides, I ain't getting out of bed if I don't have to, and all I have to do is spend an extra $6 for some groceries, and it's at my door in an hour. Come, that's a no-brainer.
It's an extra $6 now, but then when all of a sudden inflation hits that service, and you're paying more for food and more for the service, and then all of a sudden now
it'll be like everything else. Another service will come along that'll undercut them.
And here's the other downfall to when you're buying food. is you don't know the quality of what you're getting when you purchase it, because somebody else could be looking at what you think is good quality. To somebody else, their good quality is your crap. So you don't know what you're buying. So you might be undermining your own self at that point. Oh, I just paid all of this money for this when I thought I was getting that, because the person doing the shopping is doing this. Because they're expert shoppers. Bull. They're not expert shoppers. They're walking around with the list and they're going, oh, four peppers. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not testing them. They're not looking at them to see what the best quality is. They're just grabbing 4 peppers and throwing them in there. And boop, there you go. Oh, I want 5 apples. You get 5 apples that are bruised because they're not going through it. They're just giving you the 5 top apples. And then all of a sudden you're getting less than what you're asking for. Because why? Because you're lazy. That's it. Okay. There's no other reason. Why?
There's a lot of other reasons. There's a lot of other reasons. And go on to what you said. If you get somebody that's actually giving you bad food or they're giving you a bad product, guess what? You downvote that person and they're no longer able to do that. All right? Cream rises to the crop. It's the reason why it's the reason why the gig economy operates on a rating system, so that you can weed out people who aren't doing their job with the people who actually are. That's how a lot of these gigs work. That's how a lot of these sharpers operate. If you hire somebody to do a job for you and they do a bad job, guess what? You can rate that person's performance individually, and the company that's in charge of hiring that person will do something about it, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with shoppers. It's the same thing with Uber. It's the same thing with anything in the gig economy. All right? That's no, come on. Just because there's somebody out there that decides that they don't want to get up and they don't want to go out and they don't want to deal with the whole hootenanny of being out there and blah 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 and doing all that shopping, they want to get somebody else to do it for them, isn't necessarily being lazy. If I want to spend the extra $6 because I don't want to go to the store, guess what? I'm going to spend the extra $6. I work hard all week. You just
said it because but that's the thing, though, is the only reason is I just don't want to do it.
Yeah,
that's your only reason. That's lazy.
That's not lazy.
So I'm going to share my opinion on the reasons why you would use it. One, you are physically incapable, or
yes,
so there's a physical incapability. Somebody, they pulled their back, or they're ill and they really don't want to go out. Like, I can understand that they're handicapped, they're ill, they pulled their back, they can't move, their mobility is limited. That's one. The other reason is laziness, just pure laziness. They just don't want to deal with it. The third one I would say is if somebody, we just had an event at our church this weekend, and let's just say somebody forgot to order half of the food that was needed in order to cook it. Well, if somebody's in a rush and it's like, hey, I need to get all of this stuff. Well, I'll just say this. My wife went ahead, placed the order to BJ's, drove over there, and they brought the food out to her. So she was able to get the food quickly, thrown in the back of the car, brought back over there. So for timing purposes, if it's a big order like that, that made a lot of sense. That is a perfectly reasonable reason to use that service. But if I'm going to go ahead and order something personally, if I'm going to get something online, it's because I'm not in a rush, it's not a big deal, and I found a better price for it online. Otherwise, I will go to Walmart. And I'll just go ahead and pick it up then there. If I want something that I need like right now, I'm not going to be like, oh, hurry up, Amazon. Why aren't you here yet? I'm only going to order stuff online if I don't need it to be rushed to me. And I found a better price. That's the only time I would do that. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go anywhere else. If it's a better price, I will go where the price is better.
Or if it's only found online.
Yeah, it could also be that. Like, there's a certain brand that you can't find in a store. It's
sure.
less available. It's always sold out. Whatever. If I find something in a store, I will do this. If I'm at Walmart and I find something, I say, let me check the Amazon price, and I'll look and be like, is it a better deal, or I'm already here? Let me just grab it now. I'll grab it now. Usually they're about the same price, Walmart and Amazon, for the most part, for the same brands. So, personally, I would say if you're able, you're not in a rush. Why not? And you have the means to get to a store.
And
why not just go?
And the difference between this and like a DoorDash or an Uber or a Lyft, something like that, or like a Grubhub, is when you're looking at these companies, they are just replacing, like with Grubhub and DoorDash, they're just replacing
a delivery driver for a restaurant.
Driver for a restaurant anyway. So they're doing the same thing there. It saves the company a little bit more money. They're instead of it paying, for an employee, they're just paying the company.
Now, I will say this.
Hold on, and then Uber and Lyft are just another way of they're just local taxis. It's doing the same thing there. They're just replacing an already existing industry with something that's more convenient. This right here is literally taking away our ability to do our own thing and just, I don't want to do it, therefore you do it for me.
It's not taking away your ability. It's not taking away your ability. It's giving you an option.
If you don't use it, you lose it. And that's the big problem, is the less that people get out and do anything, the lazier they're going to be, and the less their body's going to be able to move. I'll tell you this, most people during COVID, when they were locked in their homes and they couldn't go anywhere, everybody started gaining weight, getting really out of shape because they weren't getting up and doing anything anymore. I would go to the dump 2 times a week just to get out of the house because there was nowhere else I can go. So I'm like, fine, at least I can do a couple of dump runs and I'll never have to have a bag of garbage in my house and just bring it right to the dump. Like I did that to move because I couldn't just sit in one place. And thankfully, because I had more time at home, I ended up working out more. But for the majority of the people, everybody grew out their beards and gained all the weight because they just didn't have to go anywhere anymore. The people who either lost their job and was just, getting whatever they could, just to stay home, hey, just stay home unless you're an essential worker, or their companies modified their jobs so they were able to work remotely. That happened to me to the point where eventually, like, I did have an office I could go to when they started opening things up a little bit more, but only so many people could be there at a time. And then eventually, after I was still using it, like going there when I needed it and then working from home, my boss was like, hey, can you just give up your desk and work from home? This other department's expanding and we need your space. And I'm like, but I need it. He's like, no, it's not yours anymore. I'm like, great. So I didn't have an excuse. I didn't have a reason to go back to the office. They kicked me out. But that's the thing, is like it normalized this whole stay home, don't leave your house, and just have everybody else do everything for you. It's I don't know. I don't think we need to like harp on this any more longer. I was just bringing up the fact that we have a reliability, or we can fully rely on the technology and other services to do everything for us. Yeah, that's the only thing I was trying to bring up.
You can rely. I disagree with this. I disagree with that 100%. You can rely on technology to give you an option. You can either A, do things for yourself, and if you want to, go for it. If you want to get up and go to the store, go for it. Nobody's stopping you. But at the same time, you shouldn't stop anybody else from saying, I don't want to get out of bed. It's a personal preference. And I 100%...
But the hard part with this, the less that people go into the store, the less the stores are going to be available for those that do want to go.
The stores are always going to be available because the store is still doing business.
But they're cutting things down.
They're not cutting things down. Stores are still doing business. Walmart, Target, Best Buy, any store that has a partnership with a company like Shipt, they're still doing the business. Their regulars are shoppers now instead of like just a regular customer going in, walking in off the street. Who cares? They're still doing the business.
You know what's going to be? It's going to be Jonah, what's his name?
Jonah Hill?
Jonah, is it?
No, he was
on Superbad?
Jonah Hill.
Yeah. On 40-Year-Old Virgin, when he goes into the eBay store and he's like, well, I want to buy this. And she's like, well, you can't. He's like, but I want to buy these shoes.
It's eBay.
Well, how do I buy? You have to go online to buy him.
But why can't I just give you the money here?
But why can't I just give you the money here? Because you have to go online to. That's what it's going to turn into at some point. I won't go. Well, do you want to buy this? Yeah, you have to go home and order it, and then we'll bring it to you.
It's eBay.
He's making a joke point.
I get what he's saying, but it doesn't make sense because it's eBay. If I'm selling something on eBay, but because you want to see, well, her excuse in the movie was because she wanted to seem professional and not like she was stealing anybody's stuff. Like that was her excuse in the movie. But I'm saying, like, if you want to purchase something on eBay, you can't go outside the system of eBay to purchase that item. You have to purchase it inside the system of eBay.
I get that, but our point is, why have a storefront if everything's going to be done online? Sooner or later, when it's all done, it's like there's no Amazon.
Be a warehouse.
Sure, it'll be a warehouse.
It'll be Amazon for food.
Sure,
you order your food, and they deliver it, and there's no more going out. That is the direction in which they're going. Because
still
Amazon was so.
People are still going out. People are still going to the movies. People are still going to restaurants. People are still socializing. People are still going to public parks. Like, I see this all the time. Nothing like that has changed. Nothing like that has changed. The only thing that's changing is people aren't going out to stand in a line and register anymore. That's the only thing that's changing. Big deal.
If you look, if in our area, we have Market Basket, Shaw's, and Hannaford's.
I think ultimately this
Walmart.
this is the problem with our disagreement. The two of you live in an incredibly closed off, well, not closed off, but you live in like a kind of a tight-knit community. There's not like the heavy hustle and bustle city around you or anything like that. You don't see that amount of traffic of people on the day-to-day that you would like in my area. So maybe it's different. Maybe it's different depending on geography. Somebody in a rural area, yeah, sure, go ahead, do whatever you want. But people who live in the city or people who live in the major metropolitan or a borough of, forget about it. They don't want to sit in traffic. They don't want to stand in a line. They don't want to deal with the people.
Enough people. They don't
exactly. They want to get up. They want to go to work. They want to go home. I'm going to pay the $6 and let this other person do my shopping for me.
But you have to realize
I think that's the fundamental difference between us right now.
But you need to realize that the great metropolitan area is like a third of the country. The rest of it is us.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's
our point. But that's our point, though, is the majority of the people are thinking the way that we are thinking. The majority of the people, like when you go at the three stores, Market Basket, Shaw's, and Hannaford's, guess what? Shaw's and Hannaford's offer primarily, they're the ones that offer the shop at home and self-checkout.
Sure.
Market Basket does not offer those things.
Nope.
You have to buy in the store only.
Mm-hmm.
They are the least expensive out of the three.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Shipt partner with Market Basket? They don't?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Market Basket is 100% in-store only. Okay. Everything. You can call in for their kitchen, but everything is 100% in-store. They're the only ones that don't, out of those three, that don't do it.
Sure.
Guess which one is the least expensive and the busiest in our area?
I'm going to assume Market Basket.
Yeah.
Every single Market Basket. You can have one Market Basket for four Shaw's and 4 Hannafords, and that one Market Basket will outdo all of their business. You know why? Because they're not paying for the extra charges and fees for all their product is less expensive. You're getting the same quality. You're getting all of this. You're getting a better service because you're getting people to talk to, and you're not overpaying for the shipped. You're not overpaying for, I want to sit here and have someone deliver it for me. Those things are all, Shaw's and Hannafords are way more expensive because of those things. Whereas Market Basket is not, and they make more money.
Shaw's,
and they are busier.
Shaw's, Hannaford, Star Market, Stop and Shop, all of them have always been more expensive than Market Basket, even going all the way back to the early 2000s, before the delivery system even existed. They've always been more expensive. Market Basket has always been, historically, has always been cheaper. Always.
Today, though, they're the only ones where every register is packed.
Okay.
Everybody, there is
good humans. For them. Good for them. Good for the humans. Good for them. Good for them. Good for you. Go stand
Even
in your
Walmart.
Hang on. Go stand in your line. Go ahead. Knock yourselves out.
Grass.
Stand in your
grass.
No, it's not standing in, it's not touching grass. You're standing in a line. You are getting up, going out and standing in a line. People still talk to people. People still talk to people. I see people every day, all day, flying in and out of Logan. They are talking to one another. They are socializing with one another. I see people in East Boston all day at a park socializing with one another, with their kids. I see people at parks. I see people at functions. I see people at arenas. I see people all over the place socializing with one another. That didn't go away. You're just mad. You just want people to stand in the line and be miserable with you.
That's exactly it.
That's exactly
just
it.
like the rest of
you want people. I have to go stand.
Argument. Again,
I have
that's
to go.
The argument that every liberal uses.
I have to go stand. You do. You absolutely do. No, it's not die. You want people to stand in line with you so you don't feel lonely. Go to a park.
No.
Go to a pub. Go to a bar. Go to the movies. Go to a restaurant. Go to a function. Go to a concert. Go to a hall. All of these wonderful things still exist. All of these wonderful socializing events that are out there in the world for you to consume still exist. They're there in abundance for you. You're just mad because people aren't standing in line with you.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
See. Instead of actually looking at you go to the one point. Oh, people are sitting in line, and that's what people.
That's hate. What it is. That's all it is.
Okay.
What else is it then?
It's laziness.
How is it lazy? It's sheer. How is it? You're not explaining to me how it's lazy. If it was lazy, people would not go to all of the places that I just mentioned. They still do. The majority of people still go to all of the places I mentioned. They go to parks, they go to functions, they go to concerts, they go to restaurants, they go to carnivals, they go to amusement parks. They're still out there. They're still in abundance. There's still hundreds of thousands of people every day in the area that goes out and does things together and they see other people and blah, blah, blah. I see people going up and down the street, walking their dog, walking with people, walking their babies, riding bikes with their friends. It all still exists. Everything, every facet of that's still there for people to consume. But the line, standing in the line, going and picking up that box going out and picking that box.
Standing in the line.
It is standing in the line. You want people to go out for yourself, pick up your box of mac and cheese and go to the register, damn it. That's what you're at. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't think it's lazy. I don't think it's laziness. Okay. If it was laziness, nobody would be doing anything. And people are still doing a lot of everything. You don't see that happening at fast food restaurants. You still see people sitting down in there. People are still sitting down at McDonald's. People are still sitting down at Papagino's. People are still sitting down at
But you know what they did do at McDonald's and at Burger King and at Wendy's, that you no longer go and talk to a human to order your food.
No, the only time you can do.
Yeah, or you go in and there's an app in front of you.
Capitalism, baby.
So the only time that you talk to somebody is through the drive-thru.
Capitalism.
Outside. Okay.
It is. It is.
I get that.
If the technology is there that we can get rid of this guy at the register, why shouldn't we do it? That's capitalism 101.
Okay.
Listen.
I'm not debating that. I'm talking about the fact of what you use it for. What you use it for. The fact that if you want to, this is the last point. If you want to sit here and defend laziness, go for it.
I'm not defending laziness. I listed a lot of things and a lot of examples where people are not lazy.
I get that. I'm talking about when you're right. People aren't lazy when it's the things that they quote unquote want to do.
Shouldn't that be shouldn't that be it? Shouldn't that be life? Nope. Shouldn't you be able to do the things that you want to do?
Yes, but then everything else, somebody does it for me. The things that I need to do, the only time that I will do what I need to do is when it's my job. When I get paid for it because I have. Outside of that, nope, you do it for me. You do it for me because I'm too stupid and too lazy to do it myself. I can't get up off my butt, drive myself 3 minutes down the road, walk around for 20 minutes and get the food that I need to make the meal that I need to for my family, because I'm the one who's providing, taking care of, and taking care of my family. You know what? I can't do that. You do it for me.
What's the difference?
That is sheer 100% laziness.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm done.
So on another note, it is officially in development. Demolition Man 2.
Why?
I just found this out.